My oh my, a crowded Friday in the streaming room today. I love it. Hi everybody, welcome to today's stream. My microphone setup, I hope, should be pretty darn good. The air conditioning is running. As you can see, I'm broadcasting to you from the face of the sun. It's incredibly bright. I have as much light on me as possible. This is as bright as I can get it to balance it out. But anyway, I'm so happy to see everybody here today. We have a really great group of things to discuss on today's stream. The week's been good to us. These aren't even held up stories from Wednesday and Thursday. This is actually like stories that came out mostly, I think, actually all today. So that's just fantastic. We have so much great stuff to discuss. The way it's going to work, as always, is that anyone can watch. Members may comment. If you can't become a member, no problem. You're still able to join in. Although, Ty, hey, I know you all the time. I see your avatar all the time on Twitter. So nice to have you as a member. If you can't become a member, though, don't worry about it. I totally understand. That's why these are open for everyone. Although, hey, 7 seconds a rise. And also, whenever anybody signs up during a stream, I always take a quick second just to say hello to them. So you might see if you can't see the comments, that's what I'm doing. All right, so we'll get to the 3 stories of the day. And then, of course, at the end of the stream, you can ask me anything you'd like for the final 10 minutes. Hey, Alexander Valentine. Oh, that's a cool name. I like that. You sound like a movie character. All right, so I like to do a round of shout-outs when we get started, just, also to give people time to join in. Where is everybody streaming from today? Hey, Isaiah Allen, thank you for joining. So just tell me where you are, if you're eating anything. That's kind of our thing. That's what we do. Does the audio sound distorted, Oscar? Does it sound distorted for anyone else? It's more microphony. Arena Boy is in New Jersey. Kyle's in Los Angeles. Let's see here. Carrie's in Chicago, out on the patio. That sounds delightful. The audio is a little low. I'm glad you guys, for the most part, like it. I'm really trying to fix the audio situation here. Oh, Melanie's eating Oreos. Oh, I'm jealous, Melanie. Maybe I'll put those in my order. Hey, Christian Gomez, thanks for joining. Thanks for becoming a member. Go Juan's Butterfly is drinking iced coffee, enjoying the nice weather outside. It is pretty nice outside, although in New York, it was nice the other day, but in New York, it's now become ridiculously hot. Like poor Carlos in Denver, where it's 97. Okay, let's see here. Aaliyah, hey, Aaliyah is eating a chocolate dessert in Tucson. Oliver is eating homemade apple pie, again in the Canary Islands. Every time you're in the Canary Islands, I'm so impressed. Let's see here. What part of New York City are you in, A. Smalls? I mean, I guess it was kind of gloomy earlier. It was raining earlier, but now, it's not 105, Scott, in San Antonio. You win. Let's see here. Alexander Valentine, new member, is eating a bagel in West Hollywood. Oh, that sounds great. I hope it's a good New York-style bagel. They have some good New York bagel places in Los Angeles. I like the Brooklyn Bagel Company. It's my favorite there. Jonathan is eating taquitos in Eugene, Oregon. We'll do a couple more. Miss Bubbles is eating a juicy pear. Oh, no, wait. Miss Bubbles said, hello, Christian. The Dark Savior is eating a juicy pear, which sounds funny when you say it out loud. Even the devil enjoys a good pear. Let's see here. Eric B. said, just finished some homemade chocolate chip ice cream. That's a good way to spend quarantine. Making ice cream takes a long time. I'm impressed. All right, we're going to get to the 3 stories of the day. You can interact with me throughout, but we're going to save anything that does not pertain to the story I'm discussing till the end of the stream when you can ask me anything that you'd like. Okay? All right, so story number 1. I'm sorry the thinking emoji is gone because I have my usual setup back. So, boop. I'm conditioned to do the boops. But, we have the nice regular red box, which I think is a little bit easier to see. All right, everybody. Hey, Platinum Diva, I'm glad you made it. All right, so Disney Plus, the Disney Plus schedule. So at the beginning, right before the month starts, or now actually we're about half a month away, streaming services, well, Netflix does it right before the month, but Disney Plus said, here's our August series. And everyone quickly looked at it and said, where the heck is Falcon and the Winter Soldier? It must not be coming out on time. And everyone has written reports saying it's delayed. Well, until Marvel itself tells me that it's delayed, I'm not necessarily going to believe it. I thought Deadline had confirmed it because somebody sent me the story today and they're like, look, Grace, even Deadline has said it's delayed. And I was like, so I looked it over and I carefully scanned the article. I like how I said I carefully scanned the article. I looked it over real careful like, and they didn't say that it was confirmed by Disney Plus itself or Marvel itself. So I think, it's probably delayed, but I'm not going to be, until Disney actually says when Falcon and, two things have to happen, either or. Falcon and Winter Soldier, they could release a trailer or a poster with a different date that's not in August, or August could end and the show could not have started. Then, only then will I believe that it's not coming out in August for sure. Because they don't want to give it away. I mean, I think it's a big announcement. Kevin Feige really likes to surprise people, which I think is cool. I'm a big fan of the surprise camp myself. So I think he's not going to just let the Disney Plus August schedule that's coming out 2 weeks in advance give away his start date. So, I mean, if it was delayed because of coronavirus, remember I told you there was some discussion about breaking it up into two different halves, like a lot of shows have done. Like Billions was only half a season so far. I think that you could, so maybe they're still making that decision. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I like that Ned's like, I need Marvel content. We all need Marvel content. I agree. It's a big deal. WandaVision apparently is still on track for December. Don't forget the Mandalorian season 2, of course, starts in October. So those shows are, so that still leaves September. I think, these things are supposed to air, like, as they're weekly, so you need about a 2-month window. So you don't want Falcon and Winter Soldier to overlap with The Mandalorian too much. So, I think maybe it really kind of needs to come out in late August. Now, here's the other problem. DC Fandom, DC Fandom, of course, is on a Saturday. So if I were Kevin Feige, maybe I'd be like, August 21st, Falcon and Winter Soldier debuts the same weekend as DC Fandom. That's a real Kevin Feige type of thing to do. Now, remember, as I reported last, was it last? The weeks are fading away for me. As I reported recently, when the NBA starts, they're probably going to have some trailers for particularly Disney Plus content. So I wouldn't be surprised if on July 30th, Kevin Feige says, bam, surprise, Falcon and Winter Soldier starts August 21st, the same weekend as DC Fandom. And everyone will go, that's amazing, whoa! It'll do like a Kermit the Frog reaction, and it'll be great. Or a Jonah Hill reaction, and it'll be really good. Because I think, Lauren's like, they'll drop it on DC Fandom. If I was Kevin Feige, that's what I would do. That's what I would do, because it's a real Kevin Feige type thing to do. So let's see. I mean, honestly, if it comes out, Sir Charles is like, he's a saint, Grace. Stop making him into Frank Underwood. The Russo brothers, who we're going to talk about in a second, confirmed that Kevin Feige didn't want to make Civil War until they announced Batman v Superman at Comic-Con. And then he was like, okay, let's make it. And he's also, you can't deny that he wants to have Namor come out the same year as Aquaman 2. That is really that's underhanded stuff, my friend. And that's fine. Until Kevin Spacey turned into a pervert, hey, JChan5, new member, until Kevin Spacey turned into a pervert, everyone loved Frank Underwood. So, Kevin Feige's like, I know what I'm doing, obviously, leave me alone. That's right, Constance, that's hilarious. That's a great use of emojis to say mic drop. That's impressive. I loved it. I knew exactly what you meant, and it made it awesome. All right, that's great. Constance, I've never noticed you before in the chat. Way to stand out. All right, so that's the first story of the day. I mean, I really don't think any of us are going to be that sad if it's delayed by a month or so. As long as it's not delayed till 2021, I think we're good. Is anyone going to be really, really sad? Hey, Trent Menson, new member. I have to wait a minute for you guys to catch up. There's always a slight delay, even with the YouTubes. No, yeah. Elliot's like, I just love Kevin Feige. He's very good. Chico says, just if WandaVision gets delayed. Yeah, everyone will just go nuts if that gets delayed. By the way, I have a little bit of tea for you on Disney Plus. New Mutants does have a Disney Plus. It is being prepared for Disney Plus just in case, according to people who work over there. So I think that's very interesting because of my prediction that I made yesterday. And also Mulan is also being prepared for Disney Plus just in case. So those are two things that not definitely going to Disney Plus, but let's just say Disney wants their options open. So those are two things. I really do feel there's a strong chance that they'll debut it. That's what I would do. If I were Kevin Feige, I would debut New Mutants on Disney Plus at Comic-Con. It would be legendary. It would make the whole event with one panel. It's a way to really use the Disney Fox, the Fox acquisition to their benefit. That's what I would do. I don't think Mulan can take any more delays. Ross, you would think PVOD, but they really need, let me ask you another question before we go to the next story. Which is the streaming service that you watch the least? I'm sad to say that it's Disney Plus for me. I actually watch Hulu and Netflix the most, which is shocking to me. I never would have guessed it would have been Hulu. Hey, John Camara. Disney Plus. Yeah. I want to watch Disney Plus. Hey, Alex Struthers. Hey, Alex, I see you all the time on Twitter. Yeah, I go over there occasionally. I'll often browse on Disney Plus. I like, Mika, that you even have Quibi still is impressive. That just right there I think is awesome. Although Elliot says, I watch all equally. I'm impressed. Oh, I didn't even think of Amazon Prime, Nat's a Ninja. That's a funny name. Yeah, I guess Amazon Prime is pretty low for me too. Nina says, sometimes I forget I even own Disney Plus. They're aware, believe me. They know how much time. I think the only people who are on Disney Plus are little children who need to be babysat, which is really reflected in the trends, which is sad. TJU watches HBO Max the most. I really like HBO Max. So I would probably be watching that more if I wasn't watching their content on the press site, because I get in advance. Doom Patrol is so good! Umbrella Academy is amazing. I'm working my way through that. My Cursed review will go up later today. I filmed it already. I have to edit it. All right. Chico says, oh, you're the babysat one. That's funny. All right, so let's get on to the next story of the day. All right, so that's the first story of the day. Disney Plus is like, we have a problem. And they do. But I think these are great ways to fix it. All right, so let's get rid of that. So story number 2. Boop. All right, story number 2. Epic says, I got Disney Plus for Hamilton. Psych! Well, you only have to pay for it monthly. You can decide whether or not you want to stay or not. All right, so story number 2. Post-Marvel, it's very difficult to have a career. It's hard to have a career after Marvel. Everybody struggles. Bryce is like, this next story is quite attractive. That was not lost on the internet, Bryce. That was not lost on the internet. Although for some reason, only Ryan Gosling trended, and I think it's part of a discussion that we'll get to, whether or not this should have been a more diverse casting situation. All right, so anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about Ryan Gosling in a moment. So where I want to start is that it's been very difficult for people outside of the world of Marvel. The Russo brothers have certainly struggled, and they didn't work so well with Chadwick Boseman, unfortunately, with 21 Bridges. I watched 21 Bridges as a rental. It was okay. It was a total rental. And sure enough, where have they really done the best, the Russo brothers? On Netflix. It seems they're really at a Netflix level, and it's working out quite well for them. Chris Evans has struggled, although I thought Defending Jacob was phenomenal, although, of course, it was on Apple TV, so nobody really watched it. And he was in Knives Out. Knives Out just helped everybody involved. Knives Out was a real win, including Rian Johnson. It helped everybody. And now Ryan Gosling has, of course, always struggled at the box office, although for someone who struggled so much, his agent is on fire. He has Wolfman lined up, and now this movie. It's never been a better time to be Ryan Gosling. This is incredible. I'm a big Ryan Gosling fan. I got to interview him a few years ago. He was really, really a nice person. Really down to earth. And so is Chris Evans, by the way. He trended yesterday morning for giving that kid Bridger an authentic Captain America shield. I tweeted about that. Go find that tweet. That's an amazing story. Yes, a lot of you guys are referencing the fact that I pointed out that pretty much every Ryan Gosling movie opens at about $11 million, which shows that's the size of his audience. However, this is going to be on Netflix, so we'll see how many subscribers tune in. Now, of course, Extraction, we'll talk about Netflix a little bit more on Sunday on Movie Math, but Extraction is a huge hit for Netflix, very big hit. And that was also a bunch of Marvel people. Chris Hemsworth, Sam Hargrave, Chris Evans' stunt double. Maybe Sam Hargrave called up Chris Evans and he was like, whoa, this Netflix Russo combination is amazing. So Chris Evans was like, give me a piece of that. Because, his career hasn't been going so great either, so this is really good for him. So anyway, I think the Russo brothers are kind of setting up a Marvel Light studio for Netflix, which is great for Netflix, which said right on out yesterday, they came out and they said, we want to have so many hits on Netflix that you don't really want to go to any other streaming services. And I'm like, wow, that's an amazing strategy. And they're like, we're willing to spend the money to do it. Because this is the biggest budget they have yet to greenlight, bigger than The Rock's budget for Red Notice, and that's $200 million. So yeah, that's what they're going to do. And so they have, Joe Russo wrote Extraction. He also wrote this, but he had his Endgame screenwriters come in and touch it up. I mean, honestly, if I were Kevin Feige, I'd be like, stop single white mailing me. This is really not cool. You know, they're just doing everything. They're taking all the people from Marvel and saying, like, this is like Marvel summer camp to come over here. All right, so what is this about? They're saying this is The Gray Man. It's based on a series of books, and they're saying it's going to be like James Bond, but from the way I see it, it's more Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible. Because I don't think it has the elegance. And also, it's heavily in the CIA, and that, of course, is very Jason Bourne. So Chris Evans, his CIA operative, will be hunting down a former co-worker played by Ryan Gosling across the globe. And apparently Ryan Gosling will be sticking around for further installments, although it's not mentioned that Chris Evans would. That makes sense. Ryan Gosling is not quite, well, I don't know. I think that if you take away Captain America, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans are kind of on the same level. Now that gets me to the next question. So I saw one of you in particular on Twitter was having a discussion with some other people that why didn't they get an actor of color opposite Chris Evans? And I thought it was funny that you wanted to keep Chris Evans and not Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling's like, why am I the one who asked to go? And they're like, because Chris Evans is Captain America. So anyway, I think it's pretty clear that these guys are supposed to look alike. Because they do look a lot alike. They look ridiculously alike. So, and I'm sure that they will diversify the rest of the cast. One of the reasons that Extraction was so successful is because it had such a strong Indian setting. You know, and India loves Marvel, and so they really blew that movie up. And remember, Netflix is a global streaming service, so they want everybody in there. So I see a lot of you have the same thought, that they're supposed to look alike. And they're both from the CIA. They totally look like CIA white bread guys, right? That they look like that to me. And I think that they explained it that they want this to be like the old CIA, like we get stuff done, versus the new I mean, I don't know, I'm just making up what the old and new CIA are, but they said the old way the CIA operates versus the new way the CIA operates. And so that's how it's going to be. This sounds excellent to me. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, I don't know if I want to watch another. She didn't even watch Extraction. She was like, I told her, that's how it came up. I was like, you might want to watch Extraction because the Russo brothers are blowing up on Netflix. And she's like, what are they doing? And I said, it's a movie it's a CIA spy thriller with Chris Evans versus Ryan Gosling. And she was like, I'm watching it immediately. And I think everyone's going to have that reaction. But it's still not a comic book movie. A comic book movie generates conversation from the moment it's announced, through casting, through everything. But movies like this, it's like a Mission Impossible movie. And those, by the way, Mission Impossible, I can tell you as someone who covers movies, Mission Impossible never generates conversation. Even the trailers, it's nuts. But of course, people do go to the movies. But I think that Czech Film Fantastic mentions This Means War. That's funny. That was Chris Pine versus Tom Hardy. But maybe it was Reese Witherspoon in the middle there who messed it up. This isn't a romantic comedy. Although the paintball scene in that movie was hilarious. Tom Hardy did a very good job at that comedy. But anyway, I think that people will talk about this when they have trailers. Until then, it's not going to be, I think, that interesting. I will be curious to see how the rest of the cast rounds out. They're going to need their CIA boss. They're going to need a couple of CIA people in the field. I hope they don't put too much of a romantic thing in it. I hope it's just like nonstop action like Extraction was. And maybe they have like a Julia Stiles character. And they can say James Bond all they want. It's a Jason Bourne ripoff. And we'll see how that works out for them. I'm going to watch it, though. Is anyone not going to watch this movie? I'm really curious if anyone would not watch it. Lady Jennifer Snow says, I love spy movies. It's my favorite genre. Anna says, I need to see a trailer. I would like a lot of action. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of action. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching the rhythm section. Czech Film Fantastic. You can't make me. If it's 90 minutes, says Mika. I'll watch it no matter how long it is. Alex Struther says, I am like a gabillion% watching Are You Crazy? That's how pretty much everybody feels. I mean, I have to see these two face off. They do look almost exactly the same. They carry themselves the same way. They are, I would maybe wonder, have we ever seen them in the same room together? And they're both very funny, by the way. So I think this could work well. Oh, are there any Ryan Gosling fans in the house? Sharon and Raphael are both here for Chris Evans only. Although Sir Charles, yes, thank you. Oh, that's funny, Madeline. You hope they wear sweaters. It's a sweater off. One wears a crew, one wears a mock turtleneck. That's fantastic. Oh, Sean's also a Ryan. Oh, so there's some Ryan Gosling fans in the house. I love them both, although Sufjan says Gosling by far is better. I will root for both of them. It is a little man from Uncle Francisco. That's a great comparison. That movie should have been better. That's too bad. All right, so that is the second story of the day. All right. Now for the third story of the day. Oh, by the way, that movie's going to shoot in January. They're hoping to start shooting in January, and they want to have international locations. Good luck with that. Maybe they could shoot in Australia, which is our third story of the day. So Australia today was like, hey, guess who doesn't have coronavirus? Australia. Well, they have a little bit of coronavirus. I mean, just tell this to Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks had coronavirus in Australia, although he says maybe he caught it somewhere else and took it to Australia to go film the Elvis movie, although, of course, I didn't do the boop. I'm sorry. He was in Australia. And I have to say, he said the Australia healthcare system was very good to him and nursed him back to health. So they're saying, we have hardly any coronavirus here, while Los Angeles is rampant with it. So they say, come over here. We're going to have, Lauren's like, but they do have coronavirus. It's not as high. It's much lower. Los Angeles and California are like at the peak. It's really, really bad. The movie lover says international locations. Los Angeles, or in this case, Australia, with a bunch of different filters. They're like, now we're in Mexico. Now we're in the Middle East. Now we're in Europe. It'd be hilarious. Alexander Valentine points out they do have giant bugs. That's true. But that would be a deterrent for me. But anyway, New Zealand, you're right, Collaborative Kiwi Studios points out that New Zealand doesn't. I like that, helping out the home team there. But anyway, I think it's a really good idea to do this. So the way so people might say, hey, I don't want to fly my entire cast and crew to Australia. And also, it's very good for Australian businesses, obviously. So they're like, I don't want to fly my whole cast and crew to Australia. While Australia says, on that note, we have just greenlit $280 million of incentives to offset your location costs. So it would cost you no money to shoot here once we give you back a little bit of our incentive money. And I think that's very, very clever. I heard from one of you is an inside source at Shang-Chi, and your friend who's working on that pointed out to me that that's actually going to start filming very soon, very, very soon. And of course, safety precautions are in place, but it's not as bad as Los Angeles, where I'm hearing a lot of people are getting it. I've heard a couple of people say, watch out. Multiple people that I know have coronavirus. So it's pretty scary. All right, so let me get rid of that. The 3 stories of the day are done. It's kind of like a half story for the last one. All right, it's 5:31. You may ask me anything you'd like until 5:41, and then I got to review this cursed thing. I was really proud of the microphone situation. I worked very hard on this the last few days. It's the exact same microphone. Now I'm using it properly. Embarrassing. The Geeky Gator, I haven't seen anything about WandaVision being moved, but if it is moved, that would make sense because Doctor Strange 2 is so far away. Sorry, Rose. Oh, yes, Joseph. I hope you had a wonderful birthday yesterday. I saw your bundt cake. It looked delicious. Go Wan's Butterfly says, Grace, do you think that ISIS will play a big role in Black Adam? I hope so. The movie seems ridiculously crowded right now. I don't know. I'm nervous. As I said in my video that just went up about Noah Centineo, who apparently his name I'm mispronouncing, I feel like it could be too Fast and Furious-y. And if they're all the same, you know, if all these movies are the same, I think people are not that I mean, I think it makes people a little less interested to go and see them. Let's see here. Ned, I don't know why HBO Max hasn't been released in the UK. There might be a problem with rights and stuff like that. Anime Lover says, Grace, do you think they will change ISIS's name in Black Adam? I think they will. Remember in my other video, they didn't want to monetize it because ISIS was in the video description. I had to re-upload it and take ISIS out of the video description. Nuno Fernandez says, do you have any Fantastic Beasts or Dune tea? I do not. I can't tell you the Fantastic Beasts situation because I promised I wouldn't talk about it. Hey, Goth QSHQ for joining. Thanks for joining. Christian says, do you have any tea for Mulan? I told you they were preparing it to potentially put it on Disney Plus. That's amazing tea. Make, I have not gone on to Peacock whatsoever. I'm very busy, and there's nothing, I mean, there's like that one new show on there, but I'm like, eh. Hey, Kim. I'm glad you were able to make it to today's live stream. The live streams, Sunday is a viewer call-in show. Monday and Tuesday are regular streaming shows, and then there's another one on Thursday or Friday, depending on my schedule. Daniel, I'm not sure when the next watch-along will be. I have to see. Alexander Valentine wants to know if Cheetah is going to look amazing. Well, based on the copious amount of leaks, we basically just haven't seen her in full focus or moving, but I think so far she looks excellent. That's not to say people won't say mean stuff about it, because people always pick on DC movies for some reason. I mean, she looks wonderful. I don't know how anyone could have anything bad about that. Jurassic Park, I'm so glad you made it. I like your avatar as a T-Rex. Kim, I agree. The Howard Ashman documentary coming to Disney Plus looks fantastic. I'm a big Howard Ashman fan. I don't think he gets enough credit for his work. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my shirt today. This shirt was like $10 from Shein. Jeff says, is season 2 of Umbrella Academy binge-worthy? Let me put it this way. I started to watch it, and I had to take a break to watch Cursed. I got Cursed way too late. It's hard to work your way through 10 episodes when you have to do it for a job. But with Umbrella Academy, I watched 6 episodes in one sitting. And then I just couldn't take it anymore because I was too tired. And I couldn't sit down anymore. I was like, I gotta get up and go to sleep. But isn't good. Let's see here. Geeky Gator says, do you think that Tenet will be the first major film to be released no matter what? Well, how often is Warner Brothers going to move this thing? And also, you know, Christopher Nolan is so intent on being the first movie back, it's like he doesn't stop to think if he should. It's like, what if no one goes, Chris, and your movie bombs? And everyone knows the twist. Oh, Christiana knows Shein. She knows the clothing company. A lot of my tops are from there. I need a lot of tops to keep it interesting because I don't want to always be wearing the same thing. And it gets expensive. And I'm a germaphobe, so I can't rent clothes. I know a lot of people rent clothing, but I can't do it because it would freak me out. I'm like, someone else had this in their house? I can't have this. So I like Shein because they have fun, cute tops that are like ridiculously cheap. Rashad says, is there a chance we could see magic in an MCU movie if New Mutants is well received? I wish that we would, but I think it's almost impossible. I just don't think it's going to happen because Kevin Feige is such a control freak, which I, by the way, am also a control freak. And I think, I mean, if he lets magic in How does he not let everybody else in? I mean, if you let magic in, how do you not let other people in that fans like? And then, like, what do you say about like Evan Peters coming into WandaVision? How does he not Quicksilver then? You just can't do it. Let's see here. Zachary Smith says, are you familiar with DC's Static Shock? Of course I am. I like your use of emojis. Any chance we could get a movie? I think it's more likely he will show up as a guest star in like Black Lightning or somebody else's movie beforehand, but I think he's obviously a great character. And as Miles Morales becomes very popular, maybe DC will be like, who do we have in the bin? Oh, look, we got kind of a close approximation. Let's use them. Just like they're wanting to use Raven and Zatanna to be so popular. They're like, look how popular Scarlet Witch is. Do we have any of those? Elliot Buck says, I heard that Disney is eyeing an Oscar-winning actress to play the evil queen for Snow White. My choice is Nicole Kidman. If they do that, I bet they race bend the character, because how's anyone going to top Charlize Theron in Snow White and the Huntsman movies? She was phenomenal. I think it would be very difficult. Czech film, fantastic. I don't think Timothée Chalamet would be Wiccan, because I think that they want to get younger. I heard they want real teenagers for the Young Avengers, as I've told you before. And Timothée Chalamet is not a real teenager. I don't think he is. Let's see how old he is. Oh, it's the best part of the show, watching Grace look stuff up on her phone. Yeah, he's 24, so it doesn't work. Hold on, let me see if a story broke. I get an unusual number of messages. I feel like a story broke. No, it did not. By the way, I saw that casting rumor online. One of you just asked me about it on Shayera Hall fan. Are you on the stream? But Shayera Hall DM'd me and said, do you think that these rumors for the Black Adam casting are true? I mean, I'll look into it. I haven't heard anything about who they're specifically considering. But if Armie Hammer gets to be Hawkman, forget it, man. I don't know. I like Armie Hammer a lot. He's weird, though. Remember how he let his kid suck his toe? I'd be like, Dwayne, what are you doing? Don't hire that guy. 1 more minute. Oliver says, do you think Timothée Chalamet has potential to become the next big movie star? Well, let's see how Dune goes. I don't know. He's Paul Atreides. Now I know how to say the name. House Atreides. Because I watched that horrible movie. It was so bad. It was so bad. But, you know, I don't know. I gotta tell you, Timothée Chalamet has a lot of fans, but no one goes and sees his films. He's like the Angelina Jolie. Well, she only does well if she's in an action movie. Let's see. I appreciate everyone asking me questions about stuff, but I don't like to talk about going outside. I'm very superstitious. Let's see here. I hope Zendaya helps Dune the Geeky Gator. I'm a big Zendaya fan. Liam, it is time. Thank you very much. Boy, it's hot. I'm glad this air conditioning is going. Can you hear the air conditioning with this microphone? Do you hear the air conditioning? I'm curious. Ah, Terry, I'm so glad you enjoyed the stream. Oh, you can't. Excellent. This is so good. I'm very happy with the new microphone. I'm very happy with. Well, it's not a new microphone. It's now properly set up, and it makes me very happy. That's excellent. You guys are great. Hi, everybody. Have a lovely day. There's a cursed video going up later today. There will be a video going up tomorrow that was delayed from yesterday. And then, of course, Sunday we start all over again. All right. Have a lovely rest of your afternoon. Bye, everybody.